Hello and welcome to Jazz Tonight. I'm Michael Jacobi, executive producer of Jazz on the Plazz and host of Raising the Standards on KSCO Radio in Santa Cruz. Today, of course, by the time you see it, it'll have been a while ago, but we're finishing up Jazz on the Plazz 2022, our homage to the great Dave Brubeck. And with us, our traditional closing party guy, my man, Tony Lindsay.
That's right.
How are you, brother?
I am. If I was any better, I'd be you.
If the future was that good, I have to wear sunglasses.
You see what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You know what is a huge honor for me and the rest of the band is that we close the Jazz on the Plazz.
Yes.
Because that's huge.
Over the last 20 years, we've come up with certain traditions. Of course, our friend Paula West has been here. And,
Yes.
And you folks coming every year in the last 10 years, I guess, 8 or 10 years.
Pretty close.
Yeah. And this year, now you've come with in a couple of different setups.
Yes.
For instance, you're with the Soul Soldiers.
Soul Soldiers today, do the Ray Charles project.
Right, yeah.
And I'm trying to think. Actually, one time we did it down here with Danny Hull and a few people too.
Were you here? Well, you know, Danny was at the first Jazz on the Plazz in 2003. He
And
was
now-
with Clifford, with Clifford Coulter.
Yes.
Who you guys just did a
We
tribute
just
to.
did a tribute to Clifford.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you in that? Were you at that gig?
Matter of fact, I had to be because I remember those guys being down here. So I think I came down and probably just
may
ended
well
up
have.
sitting in with them.
What you know, it's funny. I do this thing on Facebook. It's called Sunday Liner Notes, and I don't know if you saw this week, but every week I do a different video of a tune, and then I talk about the derivation of the song. And this week we did Oye Como Va with this young guy with a beard, the black fella who looked a lot like you, singing with Carlos.
It wasn't
Santana.
me. It wasn't me.
And that was me. And I called you and I said, when was this taped? And you said, I don't know. We did it 200,000 times.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's so many different versions on you.
Yeah.
I wonder who that guy was.
I think that wasn't you.
With a beard, I had a beard.
Yeah,
I probably did have a
that
beard.
was you. Yeah, don't do that to me.
You're probably right
Yeah.
because I did have a beard.
Yeah,
In the
you
beginning, I had a beard.
That or
A
your
beard
head
when
was
I-
on upside down.
Yeah, I had
It
the half moon around. And then when I got hip one day and I saw Michael Jordan and all those guys with the bald head,
Well,
I'm taking that
it's
stuff
interesting to talk a little bit about Ome Como Va is written by the great Tito Fluente.
Yes.
Who had, it was on an album in 1970.
off. That was way before I was born.
Yeah, I was still in. Yeah, well, I guess I was still. And then Santana recorded it. I want to say for a Breakfast in '75.
Probably, wasn't that on the Abraxas?
Praxis, yeah,
I think it was on the Abraxas album.
and that was mid '70s. And then you joined Santana in
1990.
Oh, 90.
Yep.
Okay,
1990.
and that's when they took off.
Well, you know, that's true too.
It is.
You know, with the Santana band, the original band, which I could never understand how come those guys never won a Grammy or anything. And I feel really good that next segment of when the band really hit popularity, I was in the group then.
And that explains the 11 Grammys on
Yep.
your mantle.
I did 15 years. No, wait a minute, 25 years with Santana.
Yeah.
From 1990 to 2015.
You still see him? Is there any talk of ever let's do a reunion show or anything?
I send him a message every year on his birthday, which is July 21st, because his birthday or July 20th, his birthday and my mother's birthday are the same day.
Yeah.
And they were really, they got
Does
really
he write
close.
you back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get in a conversation on a text, and you know I could call him. We and him are cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we're talking about the Soul Soldiers, which give me the lineup on them.
Janice Maxie Reed on keys and vocals. We also have another keyboard player by the name of Alan Leon.
Okay.
I kind of mix it up too. We got a little mixture of you know, Alan's an Asian cat. You know, I like to have that different flavor of different things. We got Dezon Claiborne on drums, David Jones on bass, David Schul, guitar player, and Fred Ross is the other singer with me. Fred, myself, and Janice Maxie Reed do all the lead vocal stuff, and we're gonna have a good time, man.
Now, you also have the Ray Charles Project, or tribute,
Yes.
and we had originally planned to do that a couple of years ago, the first year COVID hit, because
Yep.
we were out for 2 years, but we were going to bring you guys in to do that. You should come do that because our buddy Chris Kane is in that group.
Well, see, the thing is, it's a good thing that we didn't have
Well,
it this
'cause
year
Chris
because
is in Europe.
he's gone.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he's back because I'm seeing him Friday at Cuamba.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And I guess he was at San Jose Jazz over the weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah.
At the Kumba.
Yeah, you should come down. You should come down.
I think I'm off this Friday night too.
Absolutely. So, you do a lot of your own stuff tonight? I say tonight,
no,
and
this
I
is,
know, folks, you're going to see this in a month, and you're going to go, "What's tonight?"
well, see, the Soul Soldiers, what we do is a combination of different soul artists. That's what it's about.
all right.
So we're doing
So
a
you do some
combination
Sam
of
Cooke and Marvin Gaye. And
Marvin Gaye, Etta James, Nancy Wilson. We do Lou Rawls stuff, Bill Withers. We kind of
You're going to do a change is going to come from me?
I could.
You could. That would be special.
So yeah, but I have to get something.
I have a short timer these days, so that'd be fun to hear.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Change is gonna come.
Yeah. One written by Sam Cooke, the unofficial anthem of the civil rights movement.
Isn't that a trip?
Yeah. And sung by, didn't Aretha sing it at Obama's inauguration?
Probably did.
I think she did.
But you know,
What a marvelous tune.
That guy was. There's so many people that probably listen to Sam Cooke and you know, because I hear a lot of Sam Cooke and Marvin Gaye. I hear all that, and a lot of those artists, man. I know they picked up stuff from Sam Cooke.
Did you see the film? And it was a Broadway play originally. I can't think of the name, about Malcolm, Sam Cooke, and Ali.
Yes.
And Jim Brown at
Yes.
the hotel before the Miami fight or after.
Well, they got the.
What was that? Yeah, you guys probably don't.
There was a.
No, I'm talking
there's
to
a
the
film
camera.
that came out. At,
Call us right now.
Yes.
What the heck was it? But it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And the kid that played Sam Cooke, great voice, and I can't remember.
that was what's the name? He's in Hamilton.
Yes. Yeah.
So Odom.
Odom. Yes, and he was
Was
nominated.
it Leslie
yeah.
Odom Jr.?
Yeah, and he was
That's the
nominated. A great film. I want to talk about growing up in upstate New York in a few.
Upstate New York.
Let's get this out of the way because people I know are already compelled to find out more. If you've never seen Tony Lindsay, he has an ability to capture a stadium or a roasting company or
That's right.
a small venue. And the big venues as well, and the consummate performer. You need to see him, and obviously if you saw him, what is tonight for us, you already been sold on it. But if you haven't and you see him in the area, get out to see him. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a little break. I want to take a minute to thank our sponsor, the Willow Street family of restaurants. You love Willow Street.
Yes, indeed. I will be having dinner there tonight.
That's right. It's tequila is always cold. And
In that case, I'm going there right
whatever's left. Why is there tape that says Jacobi on this bottle? At Main Street, Burgers and Willow Street Tap Room. Let's hear a word from them and be back with Tony Lindsay. This is Jazz Tonight. So we're here on the set of Jazz Tonight. Jacobi with you. And we wanted to take a minute to thank our sponsors, the Willow Street family of restaurants, and to get to know them a bit. Now we all know them, but perhaps what you don't know, this is the principal owner, Ed Rathman. Hello, Eddie.
Nice to see you, Mike.
Good to see you. It's like, it's my favorite restaurant in town. First of all, Willow Street, you guys are such an icon in Los Gatos. You've, and such an integral part of the community. And on behalf of the community and the fundraising people in this town, I want to thank you publicly in front of God and everyone, who's a big fan, by the way. That having been said, what year did you open here?
1993.
So you opened the year before the World Cup.
Yeah, and it kind of put us on the map. Really
My
did.
God, I remember you couldn't cross the street. Behind us, of course, is Willow Street. You couldn't cross the street from Willow Street to Hannigan's.
No, it was wall-to-wall people, and the Brazilians were wonderful. It really was one big party for 3
How
or 4
many
nights.
of your servers were proposed to? A lot. Well, you know, it's amazing. Someone said to me once, the difference between Americans and Brazilians, when Americans get drunk, they riot. When Brazilians get drunk, they party.
That's true. One Brazilian said to me, "You Americans say no, no, no. Us Brazilians say yes, yes, yes."
So, as you say, that kind of puts you on the map. You had your original location is in Willow Glen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And what was your, when you started Willow Glen, I guess '91, and what was the philosophy? Obviously, there was a California Pizza Kitchen existed. What were you looking to do?
To be honest, that we saw their success and it was inspiring, but I had come from more of a fine dining background, and I wanted to bring some of the benefits of fine dining down to a little bit casual dining atmosphere. And I didn't want white tablecloths, didn't want candles, and I just wanted really good food at reasonable prices.
So you run into somebody at a party, you got like 15 seconds to describe Willow Street. How do you do it?
Great wood-fired pizza, pasta, salads, nice atmosphere, very casual dining, great service, fun atmosphere.
Wow, 15 seconds. That's good. Willow Street wood-fired pizza and Main Street Burgers, the Willow Street family of restaurants, and we're so thankful that they're sponsoring Jazz Tonight. And welcome back to Jazz Tonight. Jacobi with you with Tony Lindsay as we wrap up Jazz on the Plazz 2022, an homage to Dave Brubeck. However, this night, which will be long gone by the folks who are watching this show,
That's crazy.
will be our traditional and annual party with the party king himself, Tony Lindsay and the Soul Soldiers.
We are going to have a good time. We've been waiting for this for a long time.
We've been waiting for 3 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've often said, I don't know what was longer, what seemed longer, the 17 years that we did Jazz on the Plazz or the 2 years that we didn't.
I think the
Because
2 years that we did.
it was really something.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? I mean,
And it was mainly
now,
because
did you
it
do
was
virtual stuff? Did you do
all the
those
time.
things? Yeah.
I'm still doing them.
Yeah.
Because now a lot of people have gotten used to being away from other people and doing stuff out of their home. I did so many parties, even with I put a small unit together. Yeah. People used to they'd have a Zoom party, like a birthday party or whatever they wanted to do, invite all their friends. All of them be sitting home with their bottles of wine and their food in front of them, and we'd be set up at a location like this, have the band set up, and they'd have the film crew in there, and we'd be playing their party for them, and the amount of money that people would donate for those things was amazing.
Paula Westall's stories that she made much more than doing virtual.
Yeah.
However, to me, and it's wonderful and it filled a need, but it's not. It's a little bit like non-alcoholic beer or faux vodka.
But I like an audience too.
Yeah, I mean that's so much of it.
I can reach out and give somebody a fist bump.
Absolutely.
Or, all that kind of stuff.
We alluded earlier to Santana in those years, but that's got to be a two-edged sword. Because you've got a great solo career.
Yeah.
And, it's nice to know, I was with Santana, but I do other stuff.
Well, you know what? The key to that is, and I tell the guys in the, some of the guys in the Santana band, I said, do not make a mistake in giving up what you were doing before you got in this band. Yeah. They said, because if Carlos, he wakes up on the wrong side of bed one morning and snatched that rug from under you, then you have nothing to go to. So when I was doing the Santana band thing for 25 years, I always knew what the Santana schedule was going to be. So I always booked all my stuff with my bands and other things I was doing around that. I would take 2 days off before we were leaving to go on the road. And when we got home, I would take 2 days off just to get myself acclimated to being back home. But I never stopped doing what I was doing.
Now that you've opened that subject, can I ask you, was the rug pulled out from under you?
No, not really.
Was it your decision?
Well, I guess you can say the rug.
I was stepping off the rug when it was pulled.
But the season, our touring season was over in 2015, and he decided that he just wanted to try something else when he went back out. And that's okay.
Yeah, well, Miles was like that.
And you know what?
It changed.
But think
weeks.
About it. 25 years
that's
into anything
that's
a long run.
That's a long run.
And I got the best part of all of that Santana
and they
stuff.
did pretty well with you as well.
Sure did.
Now we talked about you've got some number ratings and CDs that have come out that are great, but you're getting a lot of airplay.
Yes.
And you're hit bound with many bullets.
One thing, the one area I'm trying to break, which is tough, man. trying to get into that Sirius XM and the music choice thing. But internet radio stations across the world are playing this stuff because I'm involved with all the independent artists now, and we have these indie radio record promoters and all of them that charge a reasonable price to go get our stuff played on there. So I can be in Russia, and the cool thing is I get the digital tracking charts because they send them to me all the time, and it shows all the radio stations that are playing my stuff. So I go on Twitter and look for them and follow them. So when they're playing my stuff, they send me a text saying now playing Tony Lindsay. I was over in Europe plenty of times, and when my phone did that little ding, I go on to Google, pull up the station, and I'm listening to myself.
Well, I was talking to Chris Brubeck last week, and we were both talking about the Seinfeld episode where he had all the 12-cent royalty checks from Japan, and he was getting the carpal tunnel syndrome from signing them. But, I mean, in internet play, it's a couple of cents a play.
Yeah, well, you know, with this thing with Spotify.
That's
what a ripoff.
Explain that a little bit.
And well, they're taking our music and giving it out for free is pretty much what they're doing. You know, I get these checks for 5 cents, 12 cents, you know, and you look at the amount of spend you're getting to the amount of money that they're sending you. Napster is the one that started that mess, though. Yeah. And then there's just other organizations that just taken over from it.
You know, talk about everything being old is new again. I mean, you look at guys like Bo Diddley and Chuck Berry who are getting literally screwed by the record companies. It's not that far from that right now.
It sure isn't. Matter of fact, it might
even be worse. You're absolutely right.
It might even be worse.
In those days, the producer would want his name on the song, and they were
exactly.
It's That's amazing.
Yeah. And you know, back then a lot of guys were they were doing a lot of drugs and all this other kind of stuff. So they were kind of falling asleep and letting these guys take care of all their business. I handle everything that I do. I handle it myself. I don't have a manager. You
produce your own stuff?
Yeah, me and I don't know if you remember Randy Yamada, who used to live in San Jose. He lives in L.A. now. He's my main, I guess, producer, co-producer.
And you have your own label?
Yep.
And the days when you were with Santana, were you with Columbia? Who were you with?
With Santana, we were with Arista. With Clive Davis.
Yeah. Who was a good guy.
Yeah. You know, Clive is the one that I guess when Carlos started, Clive had him and ended up. You know, so it was that's a good run, man. Yeah.
We were talking about the fact that you've got you're getting airplay all over the world, but you're on the record lists in UK now.
Yeah.
And that's with the Soldiers, right?
My album is called, the new album is called Soul Soldier.
Okay.
And matter of fact, there's a tune on there called Soul Soldier. That's why I named it that. But I have a new single out called True Love, and it broke in on the Chart Breakers chart in the UK at number 3, and it broke in here. It's at number 28 on the chart. But I'm talking to my radio promoter yesterday. He said, you're going to go to number 1 with no problem.
Yeah, and UK rhythm and blues, you know, it's kind of reverse because it started in the UK. So many rhythm and blues that they were hits before they were hits in America.
Yeah, they came here to. Well, you know, this guy's over there, man. All they do is.
Muddy Waters used to play England all the time.
Yeah, they listen to nothing but American music over there, pretty much.
You grew. We're going to jump around. You grew up in
Kingston, New York.
Kingston, New York, which is not far from Woodstock.
8 miles from Woodstock.
You obviously were a child.
Yes, I still am.
You didn't sneak out to Woodstock.
No, actually, you know, the location where they had the concert was down the highway more towards New York City than it was. But Woodstock just had that. Yeah. It just sounded good. Yeah. So it was close enough to Woodstock to call it that. So now at the location where the actual Woodstock concert took place, they built an amphitheater that pretty much looks like the Shoreline Amphitheater.
Okay.
So when you ride in to that location, they have marked off to the left is the bunch of rocks there, and they have it marked off where the original stage was.
Well, now, have you seen the Netflix the documentary on the '99 Woodstock?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it is just talk about a cluster.
Is that the one that was all the rain?
It was rain and chaos. They started setting everything on fire, and everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. It's fascinating.
Well, you know, it's one of those kind of things where you try to recreate something that was, you know, made history, and it was you can't repeat that kind of stuff. You just leave that be. They have a second Woodstock. It's not going to work.
You we mentioned Danny Hall and Clifford Coulter, who passed, I guess, last year.
Yeah. Matter of fact, yesterday was the first the year that Clifford's been gone.
Okay. Yeah. And so who was on that gig? To remember him. Danny's no friend of both of ours, obviously.
Yes.
Did you play in Spangalang?
Well, I am Spangalang.
You are Spangalang. You're right.
See,
but Ronnie Beck,
the Danny Hall Quintet.
Yeah.
Went from Danny Hall Quintet to Spangalang. And when we turned to Spangalang, then Danny was gone, and when we changed the name to Spangalang, Ronnie Beck was the drummer.
Yeah.
But we had all the guys. Ronnie Beck played drums. Danny was there. Guy Tim Landis was playing guitar. Him and Larry Antonaccio.
Yeah.
Modesto.
Yeah.
We had Robbie Benson.
Modesto, yeah.
Yeah, Robbie Benson played keys. David Jones was on bass. Bob Bain was there.
Great.
Even Steve Zarnicki even showed up.
Yeah.
You know, so we had.
That's when I was at K-Pen and
yes,
the Bourbon Street days in the old mill. But that's
you know, we owe a lot to you guys too, because you know,
you.
K-Pen was the only station around that played local artist music.
We were. We're very proud of that.
And you guys made us famous.
And I'm proud to see you, my friend.
You know what I'm saying?
People want to find out more, buy some CDs. How do they get in touch with you? Yeah, just do it.
Easy. My stuff is CD Baby, iTunes, Amazon.com, all the internet.
Okay. But did you have a website they could just go
TonyLindsay.com, and that's TonyLindsay.com.
Yeah.
And if they're at the show today, yeah.
If you were at the show.
If you were at the show, you can buy them there, because I
bought one.
I brought a whole bunch of them with me.
Tony Lindsay, it's been a good year and better that it ended with you. Thank you, my friend.
You
good
too.
to see you.
Absolutely.
That's Jazz Tonight. It's our last show for the year. I want to thank the folks here at KCAT, Melissa Torrin, our executive producer, and Alex, and all the guys. Thank you for all the help throughout the year. And we'll keep in touch, and we'll see you right here next year. For KCAT and Jazz Tonight, I'm Jacobi. I'll see you soon. Back to Jazz Tonight. We're going to take a moment to get to know our sponsor, the Willow Street family of restaurants, which of course includes Willow Street, Los Gatos, here in Main Street Burgers. With us, Ed Rathman, the principal owner. Hello, Edward.
Hi, Michael.
It's good to see you, and great burger place, Main Street, which is, I mean, you had Willow Street for what, 15, 20 years before you opened Main Street?
Yeah, 12, 15 years, something like that.
And then and Main Street is right on the corner.
Right on the corner.
A hop, skip, and a burger.
We like to think the best corner in Los Gatos.
We like to think that as well. So how did that all come together? Now now every corner has a burger place.
It does.
But there was a time.
There was a time, we've been open 17 years, where there weren't any, quote, gourmet burger places around. I mean, you had McDonald's, you had Burger King, but you didn't really have high quality, little more pricey than McDonald's, but just really good quality burgers where people actually thought of the bun and the meat and the quality involved in putting it together.
Now, restaurants like Gott's, places like that, was that Napa originally?
There was one in Napa at the time, yeah.
And that was it. I think there might have been a couple of places in the city.
Maybe some places in the city, but nowhere in the valley here.
So when you say think about the meat and think about the bun, I hate the word Angus, but you do.
Yeah, we do Angus, sourced, really quality, natural beef.
Was it Neiman Ranch? You still do that?
No, we used to, but we have a similar quality one now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you also, but it's like McDonald's says, give me the meat, give me some tomatoes. I mean, you have the same attention to detail where you get the tomatoes from, where you get your lettuce from.
Yeah, and the combination of putting it together. I mean, sometimes, you'll have a burger and it just doesn't work. I mean, the ingredients are good, but the parts, some of the parts add up to nothing special. Yeah. And we spend a lot of time, thinking about the burgers we create and tasting them and making sure people are going to like them.
Full disclosure, I do some marketing for you guys, and the amount of time you spend on finding the right bun is incredible.
Yeah.
But it makes such a difference.
Yeah, and we also have the classic complement of handmade milkshakes that most people don't do anymore. Real ice cream, milk in a blender. It's a lot of work and takes a lot of time, but boy, they're delicious.
And I should also send my kudos to you both for Main Street and for Willow Street, where so many restaurants, their menus are written in stone, they're chiseled and don't change. You guys are constantly evolving, and I admire that.
I kind of feel like if you don't keep moving forward and trying new things, you're going to sink. And we keep trying to evolve and improve what we're doing.
Main Street Burgers, simply put, the better burger. Thank you, Eddie.
Thanks, Mike.